Government drama llama ding dong. Part 4? Part 4? I think I'm on part 4.
Hey, this is the stuff from the 90s. Stuff! Oklahoma City bombing!
The 90s had a lot going on when it comes to domestic schmerism. This time it's 1992, and the person in question is Randy Weaver. As far as the background and what happened, depending on the source, there may be some variance in the story depending on who's telling it. If you're unfamiliar with the Ruby Ridge standoff, I would recommend starting with the American Experience that they had on PBS. Just a reminder to support public broadcasting. In short, this was handled poorly by the FBI. This was one of the events that pushed Timothy McVeigh to do what he did because he felt that this was further confirmation of what the government was doing was overreach. Slowly fast forward to 1993 and we have Waco, Texas. Again, depending on the source, information may vary depending on who is telling the story. I can't remember if it was this miniseries or the other one about Waco on Netflix, but in the last episode, there was a report that is put on Janet Reno's desk. In 1993, Janet Reno was the Attorney General of the United States. That report placed on her desk in the series was basically warning about Timothy McVeigh. Exactly 2 years after Waco, April 19, 1995, is when the Oklahoma City explosion occurred. Considering it was 1995 and the internet was nowhere near what it is today, they were able to track down Timmy pretty quick. At first, they thought the person that did this was from the Middle East, and then they were surprised that, oh, I guess it's a white Gulf War vet. Considering the government's inconsistent record of how we handle vets, shouldn't really be a surprise. In the last episode of this series, they talk about how Timothy seemed unbothered and they were trying to figure out his motivation. He was wanting an uprising of sorts, but obviously that didn't happen, and he was executed in June of 2001, just a few months before there was this thing with the Twin Towers in New York. What I do appreciate about this particular series is that the majority of it focuses on the community and the people that were affected. I've discussed elite panic a couple times before, which is basically the behavior of the members of the elite during disaster effects, typically characterized by a fear of civil disorder and the shifting of focus away from disaster relief towards implementing measures of command and control. But if you watch this, what you see is the entire community coming together to help with the rescue efforts and cleanup. They talk about how they were trying to identify co-workers. Do you remember what this person was wearing? Did they come in today? They were trying to find all the kids that were in the daycare center in that building. Medics, healthcare workers, firefighters, all of these people were there helping each other. Because elite panic is what rich people do. This administration wants us to fear and hate our neighbors, and shows like this actually give me hope. If we work together as a community and help each other, that is how we fight back. In 2005, the FBI explained that they were aware of right-wing extremism. In October 2020, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security reported that white supremacists pose the top domestic schmerism threat, which FBI Director Christopher Wray confirmed in March 2021. In the 2019 address to Congress, quote, violent extremists are increasingly using social media for the distribution of propaganda, recruitment, target selection, and incitement to violence. Through the internet, violent extremists around the world have access to our local communities to target and recruit like-minded individuals and spread their messages of hate on a global scale. The recent attack on the Shabbat of Poway synagogue in Poway, California, not only highlights the enduring threat of violence posed by domestic schmerists, but also demonstrates the danger presented by the propagation of these violent acts on the internet. The attacker in Poway referenced the recent mosque attacks in Christchurch, New Zealand, and we remain concerned that online sharing of live-streamed attack footage could amplify viewer reaction to attacks and provide ideological and tactical inspiration to other domestic schmerists in the homeland. This issue has been brewing for years, so every single time another politician just calls it flyover country or thinks it's not really that important what's going on in the middle and south of the U.S., this is why you just can't disregard it. There are many of us that are a blue dot in a red state, and I think it's important to try and build our community and not fear our neighbors and live in this state of constant dread. And yeah, it is difficult when something like this happens in a community. But that doesn't have to be the end of the story, and we don't have to let fear control us.